The NFL won a grievance that stops the NFLPA from making team report cards public going forward. Release the files. What you say, Matthew?
Release the files. I'm all for it. I just think it's ridiculous. I just think like everyone has a right to know what's going on within the organizations and stuff. These are cards players are reporting on. We said a little bit before, maybe some players can skew things a little bit, but I think it's just something that like we should know. I don't really see the logic behind like not showing it. I mean, the NFL says that it's a negative thing towards them, or like it negatively impacts the perception. But yeah, I mean, if you have a D overall, like a D rated team, people should know. People should know.
So I don't even know if a team like overall like ended up getting a score that low, to be honest. But you know what also hurts the perception of the league? Making this private after it's public for 2 years.
Yeah.
That seems like not as trustworthy, and it seems like, okay, you had a vision for maybe trying to push for betterness in the organizations, for lack of a better term. Like, it was going to be something that the players and the owners and the people who run the organization could come together and say, like, okay, these are what you guys need, this is what you guys want, we're going to work with you. And now that's not, I mean, it's going to happen behind closed doors, but the pressure on some of the owners and stuff to make this make the decisions and actually do these things is now pretty much gone.
Mm.
Yeah, my first thought here was, why? It didn't
Mm.
make any sense. I think you mentioned it before. There could be a disgruntled former employee, but you've got to take that into account. That's always taken into account anyway, probably with a survey like this. So if every team could get A's across the board, there's nothing stopping that.
Yeah.
If you, I mean, with a certain amount of like margin for error, every team could end up having an amazing report card,
Yeah.
truthfully.
Yeah.
If there's nothing stopping that from happening, um, I don't see why like there is a need for this. I don't think any of these teams ended up looking worse because of it. Like,
Yeah.
there obviously are fans who are going to play around with it, and there are owners who look bad just in general, separate from report cards. Like, they look bad on 100 other different things rather than the report cards that these players give. That is like 2 news cycles and a couple graphics.
Yeah.
If
I
you
mean,
really had a problem, tell your graphics team to not, put a grade out, or something like that. Like, try to control it a little bit. To me, it didn't make any sense. And some of these specific issues that some teams ended up running into were like at face value very valid, in my opinion.
mhm. I mean, at the end of the day, like I just don't think it's that deep. I really, I really don't.
I agree to an extent there too as well.
But I also just think like, you know, it just holds accountability. And like, if I'm the GM of a bad team and I get like straight Fs, but that's the thing too. No one was getting straight Fs. Like, it really wasn't that bad. I think, like, what was the worst one from this cycle? Like,
I don't even. I'd have to double check because I have this. They were all just specific. What
yeah,
was cited in the. It's not like a lawsuit, I guess, right? But like a grievance.
yeah.
Um, Sorry, lawyer speak. I have no idea. But like, what was cited there were just specific grades. So not like a totality of
But
like a GPA or anything.
I feel like if I'm the owner of that team, like if I see that, maybe I'm like, damn, like maybe I'm not running the ship right, and maybe I want to, change. But from a player's perspective, if I'm a free agent, like a low end free agent, I know who I am. I'm probably like, if I'm in Madden, I'm probably like a 64 overall, but not even like a 64 overall kicker, I'd say.
42 overall long snapper.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that's more accurate. I was being a little generous, but no, like if I'm a free agent and I have my pick, maybe I look at these report cards. I'm like, okay, I'm about to send my family across the country. I kind of want to know if they're going to treat them right. And obviously, it's just a piece of paper with a letter on it. It's not going to be like the final end all be all. But I just don't see why. It just feels like they have something to hide. Release the files.
Yeah, release the files. I think even like if you're a free agent and you're like on any end of the spectrum, you're a dominant player who's looking for a payday, or you're a lower end guy who just needs to sign with any sort of team. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that this is really coming up as far as like a it's maybe like one part of it, one pro con, like if you write it out on a whiteboard or something. But like at the end of the day, these players talk anyway. And
Yeah.
this is still going to be known information regardless if it's public or not. So
Yes.
the decision and whatever weight it holds is still going to be the same even after this. So it didn't make any sense to me. Earlier, you were like, it's not that big of a deal. And I said I agreed to an extent. Here's
Mhm.
why I agree to an extent. One, because I think that these players, their grievances are very valid and like should be heard because
Oh
some of
yeah.
these things are specifically like family accommodations or like travel accommodations or like an odor in the locker room that lasted all season. I mean, I wonder where that could have been from. But I mean, if you don't got anybody to help clean it up, I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But the reason why it isn't that big of a deal is it is just a news cycle. It is just NFL Twitter memes
Yeah.
like, haha, like you guys had got an F on this. It's like, it's just at a certain point, like you have to pick and choose what actually matters and the priorities. And then making it private just feels like it's coming off as like, it is just scared. Like
Yeah.
it is just scared to an extent. The Buffalo Bills thing was interesting. So travel continues to be the worst part of the experience. Um, the Chiefs and need more like renovation and upgrades to the locker room. These are things that were from last year as well. Like these are continuations and they're still not being fixed. So
Mhm.
like if they get a terrible score or terrible grade, like I feel like that's I don't know how you can argue against it. Like these players aren't just like dogging on them 1 year because they had one bad experience. Like these are years in
Yeah.
the making for like something like a grievance like this. I don't know. I just thought that that was an extra piece to it because I feel like that should be noted, right? Like it's not just they're not just making it up out of thin air.
Yeah, I mean, these are the players who are experiencing it, living it. And I do agree. It's not that it's not a big deal from the players. But
Yeah.
like from a like how we're viewing these teams, no, it's not really like that. Like I said, end all be all. But in that regard, like if it's not even that like serious, like getting rid of it, I don't know. I think it's just a bad look.
And if David Tepper doesn't want to move to grass, like I mean, maybe he should get some flack for that. Like if he doesn't want to do it because it's somehow cheaper. Like maybe that's something that should be, have pressure applied to it. I don't know. I don't really think it's that bad. I mean, the Jaguars got an F on family accommodations.
Hmm.
I mean, like what are we doing here? We're running a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
I just
Like
think
like we can fix that.
exactly. Like getting an F on anything, just kind of embarrassing. Like you are a billion-dollar organization.
Because
There's
it feels like it's like negligence. You
yeah,
kind of choose to ignore it in a
yeah,
sense. Like you can fix it.